Sounds like I got a problem with the audio. Well, anyway, what's up, y'all? Let me see if this will work out. Trying to get my music played on. Maybe they got some type of algorithm that messes up the music they don't want you to play. But anyway, I wanted to come to everybody and talk on this. What's up, James? What's up? Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I was it's just funny, online they have a lot of these comments, and everybody press the little thumbs up button for me. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, share it and all that stuff. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, instant copyright stuff. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. But the point is, I was at work and I heard some manosphere talking points out of a coworker. I showed him this picture here that I had on Instagram. Now, if you look at this picture, what does this say to you? What does this say to you? I mean, you look at the woman, the wife, she's just kind of covered in money. Her brassiere is covered in money. And she has a skirt here with a little dollar sign on a certain area. And she has a little smile on her face. You got 3 daughters who are smiling. I don't like that they have that money sign in the same area where the mother has the money sign at. Then you have the boy who's just got a big dollar, $100 bill basically as a shirt, and $100 bills as a hat. Everybody's smiling except the man who's the ATM. He's wearing an ATM suit. And to me, I don't know. It's taking marriage as a transaction. And, this particular guy that I was talking to at work, he's like, oh, well, he's working and he's making a decent little bit of money, for a single guy. No children, probably in his 36, 40, something like that. And, he's purchasing a home, but he's got a girlfriend, but, no marriage. And I was just actually, you're the perfect person, James, to come here because I was actually talking to you about this too before. It seems to me, and also I was on Instagram talking about this, we have a trend here. We can, people don't understand the value of mating. There is literally a science to mating. It's not willy-nilly. And when you have people, here's another thing. I'll show you this post too. When you have a lot of people, okay, where was that? Yeah, you have a lot of people who feel that it's actually responsible. The responsible people, the people that seem to, they feel that they're smart and all that, and they're doing the right thing. They believe that they shouldn't have children. And then they actually denigrate people who are poor for having large families that they can't afford, so-called. And I'll show you this here. We'll just go through this. I want to touch base on some of this, and we'll talk about it. I'm going to drop the link in a minute just in case anybody wants to come up. But Hold on a second here. So from that picture to this one. I'm broke too. Let's make plenty of kids to suffer with. Really? People think something's wrong with having kids. So I'm thinking like, okay, so I'm talking to this guy at work and he's like, okay, well, marriage benefits the woman more. So I wanted to have that conversation. Who does marriage benefit more? Yeah. Who's doing that mixing? Exactly. In nature, the male has a specific role. Females have a specific role. These roles have become more and more mixed. You see that? That part is where the unnatural part, the part where you say these roles have become more and more mixed. Exactly. Society. Now, let me drop this link because y'all some heavy hitters, you're smart people. If you got a chance, y'all want to come up, you can go up. Go ahead and come up. Anybody, anybody, feel free. Just want to chime in with this for a little bit if y'all got time. Because the thing is, people said this is the picture too. I just want to show y'all this one. Let's start on this one. Because the thing is, the brother's face is all droopy. To me, he should be smiling too. He should be smiling. See, that's the thing. People, it should benefit. It does if you have the right mindset. But this particular guy, like I said, this guy, he was hell bent. He was talking like the manosphere. Oh, no. Real man is alpha male. I heard alpha male talk. What's up, Leroy? What's up, bro? Can you hear? I can't hear you. You got your microphone? Go ahead and get your microphone set. Yeah, but the thing is, and I agree with this. See, the marriage should benefit both equally. But you got to have people with the correct mindset. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. It is a joke. But it sparked a true conversation. And the person who I was talking to is a real person. I actually work with this guy. So he really believes, women benefit more from marriage. And to him, it's all about the money. It's all about transaction. Like for the most part, most men just end up, we're designed to get more resources than the women. And Leroy, if you're talking, I can't hear you. So I'm not sure if you got to press something, unmute or hook up a microphone or put on something like that. So take your time, go ahead and get that together. But yeah, Leroy, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Just so you know. Let's see. Okay. He's switching devices now. So give Leroy some time. He'll chime in. The thing is, though, yeah, the photo is a joke. It definitely is a joke. But like I said before, this is my point, people actually making their life decisions on these jokes. They really believe that it's only about cash. And I'm trying to let this guy know, like, listen, man, cash becomes less and less important as you start believing, you start building your life, you start building your, legacy, and you want to pass down what you built to someone of your own genetics, your own lineage, someone that you personally taught all of their lives, someone who's loyal to some of the ideas that you are loyal to, which is your child, which is your family, your children. You want to pass on the legacy that you built so that they can further it in their lifetime. Oh, no, but you don't have any children. You thought marriage was just about cash. You got a lot of cash, no people. Okay. So now when you pass away, where does that cash go? No, you don't have anyone to really pass it to. So lawyers, judges, probate court, all those type of things, the state. The state generously takes and appreciates all of your wealth for itself. That's where your money goes. So, this is what I kind of try to get people to understand. Like, this is a little bit deeper. Yeah, girls. Yeah, you got girls, but we're men, so we should want to create families. And I'll just touch base with y'all on this one. Now I'm gonna show this conversation that I had here on this photo. Let me see. This is another photo that I had. See this here. I'm broke. Now Boyce Watkins actually posted this one. Let me share this screen here. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. There you go. What's
Boom.
up? Bam, I got you.
What's going on?
Now we can hear you. Now we can hear. All right, so yeah, I'm just putting this out there for the family men, for people out here. Like I said, I'm at work. This brother's like, no, he getting serious. Marriage benefits the woman. No, like, okay,
Yeah.
benefit for you, huh? men don't get benefits. Like, seriously? Now, I was telling him too. If you go into if you get somebody with the wrong mindset, then yeah, it don't matter. That's emotional.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
You know what? He heard you. You said marriage, but it sounds like what he heard was divorce.
Right. Okay.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, I ain't hear the conversation, but that's what it
go
comes
into that though, because that's exactly what he referenced. He's like, okay, she could take all your money. He breathing out hard.
Yeah, it sounds like he got caught up in the situation.
Nah, but the thing is, he have never been divorced, according to what, because I'm talking, like I said, this guy I work with, so I talk to him, daily. He has no children. And
he has no children?
No children.
Okay.
He's like in his 30s, afraid to get married, or I'm like, you don't have any children? Okay, well, I mean, 36, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But you like now that when I touched on that subject and he started spitting out some of these ideas, I'm like, oh, where are you getting this from here? I'm like, okay. He talking about no, marriage. See, I've been hanging around real men, alpha men, alpha. You know what alpha is? I said, okay. The
alpha men don't quote alpha men don't get married. Man, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, but he wanted to prove to me what alpha man is and strong man, and I'm like, okay,
what?
Man.
Wow. So you strong because you don't get married?
Well, no. Yeah.
I'm kidding, man.
Actually, me and James had that conversation before. I always touch base on people who I always lightly, because everybody's decision is there, so it's not like a real.
I mean, it's not like we can make people get married.
Yeah, I can't make nobody do nothing. But
yeah,
it's like
your children.
I lightly encourage people. You see this picture here. It says, I'm broke too. Let's make plenty of kids to suffer with. Okay, now I took a little issue with Boyce putting that up. Boyce Watkins, right?
Yeah, Boyce, he done got a little sideways since all the women left. You might want to change that from Fly Nubian Queen to something else.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I learned from Boyce. And of course, it's not perfect and everything, but I'm like, okay, let's see. And yeah, but he got some women, but he obviously needs to create a better business model on how he deal with the relationship that he has with, because
employees.
Yeah, because he gives them too much. I don't know if he gives them too much autonomy, But really, then another thing about it is this: you got to realize too that sometimes, I mean, if you think about all the jobs in the world, I mean, people start working, they leave. They go to work, they leave. They quit.
Yeah.
So, it's not actually abnormal, but just because that it's a media network, and he doesn't do like, I guess, make them sign contract. I guess he makes them sign now. He makes them sign stuff where they can't talk against the network directly, but or each, but I think before he just kind of let them say what they're gonna say, you know, and I think maybe some of that is on them too, because you can't expect. I mean, this guy, he you getting paid what you agreed to make, and now you think you all of this and all of that, but when you leave the job, you want to dump on every. I don't know. I mean, it's not really hurting him. It hurts his plans, but I mean, I don't know what they. Some of them think that they're gonna actually make him broke or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but
I
yeah,
think that's what Michi X going for.
yeah. She thought no, yeah. She knows she can't make boys broke, but she
She
just
trying to
got,
make him hurt.
well, yeah, she got what she wanted because she felt like she made him change the little name of one of the shows that he had.
Yeah,
Which
because
one? Your Black World.
she copyrighted his name.
Yeah, Your Black
Well,
World. She changed it right away. No big deal. He ain't said nothing about it. He changed it right away.
I mean,
and
that's
kept,
the best way to handle it.
and kept it moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's I'm like, see, and people don't. That's why I study voice. Now, nobody's perfect because any of us go into business. These are some of the things business people deal with. But my main thing is like I'm looking at how this. I'm just looking at how he moves, and then the people that leave, like Michi. Actually, in my opinion, though, she's like she took the government money. She took the money from the FBI because sometimes when you get a certain amount of influence, uh, even like Tariq Nasheed and other people, they tell you that, yeah, the FBI knocks at your door, they'll call you, they'll intimidate you, they see how you act, see if you get shaken, if you can't take the little intimidation, and then they can lean on you. So I'm sure they approached her from whatever court cases and stuff she got in, because she'd be supporting some of the everything that's against, some crazy stuff, in my opinion. Jam after
So I
jam,
feel you.
you know what I'm saying? She supported, was it NFA, No Effing Around crew? You remember them?
Nah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, she on the edge. I mean, anybody can believe what they want, but like I believe the word, but that don't mean I have to go out of my way. There's a discussion, that's one thing, but I don't have to go out of my way to try and take shots at people who believe in the Quran. Checking
right,
out her platform, she's straight up taking shots at Christians, and it's like, you ain't got to believe it, but why the shots?
right. And
You know?
then then it's spiteful and just her whole thing. So I mean, when she was on the Fly Nubian Queen, she kind of kept them focused and structured. And when they wanted to go wild and do it, and the thing is, one of the things I liked about Boyce too, and I still like that about I respect him because while they were on his platform, because Fly Nubian Queen was his platform. Now those two, Michi, she helped build it, but she just provided a name. He provided the structure, all the other stuff. They forget about that part.
The infrastructure, the backbone.
Nothing, like they act like that ain't nothing because they came up with a name.
Yeah.
Oh no, since you give me that name back. No, that man, like, no, part of the structure. I'm keeping your effort. I'm the one who got you. I'm the one who.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't built something and you're not there from the outset, I mean, it's only so much you should expect.
Right. I
You
mean,
know.
even if you're there, but if somebody else set everything up, they own it.
Yeah.
That's I mean, if you work at I don't know where you work, but you can work at somewhere you can, but your name ain't really on the paperwork. You can be a dedicated foreman, a dedicated manager, and you can really help build that place. But in the back of your mind, your name ain't on there.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, it's a platform I work off of, and got a ton of work
Mm-hmm.
off of there, and end up doing them some work by
Yeah.
inviting people who were working with me to that platform. They started a referral program 2 years later, and I expected them to, make me part of the referral program, not from the point of when I started or when those companies started giving me work orders there, but just from when they started the program.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get a chance to speak with the owner about it. And I told him straight up, if he said that, well, next time I come to Atlanta, we should meet. And, sometimes I kind of go over it and think maybe I should have just met with him, but
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling that because just from what I was getting, I told him straight up, dude, if you don't want to see me with my money, we don't need to see each other. Straight up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because
I
that's
mean,
going to cause more problems.
right. And the thing is, it's like people do what they do, they make their choices, but the thing is, holding a grudge, I don't know. Sometimes there's some people you do hold a little grudge with, but some people it's just like maybe I just had a disagreement from that moment. But you still gotta give them credit. Well, they did help me here, they helped me there. And I got, even though you helped yourself because you took advantage of the opportunity, but you still, just kind of think like, well, at least they did provide this opportunity or that opportunity. Now I'm going on my own, other opportunities. It's nothing wrong with that. Be respectful though. That's how I look at it. That way it's not burning bridges. But so then that's the thing that I look at. People just, I don't know. It's just a better way of doing business and all that kind of stuff. And that, to me, that kind of ties in. And even though it was off the subject a little bit, but we can kind of tie it into like a type of marriage. It's a type of relationship, like a contract. It's a type of agreement, a type. Now, it's not marriage, so let's be clear for the weirdos. But I'm just saying that your agreements, your business relationships, those type of even like a business partner, or even if you're working for platforms, whatever, that is a type of marriage in that specific, adventure or venture that you're dealing with. And so like, if somebody's providing this, which is a structure, then you say you're going to provide that, which is management, and whatever you're providing, labor, whatever you're providing. And, then sometimes, that's it. Now it depends on how deep that contract is. And then maybe if stuff goes real bad, people can sue or whatever. But like, it's like, yeah, marriage is a contract. And really a contract is just a promise. Some contracts are not written. Now, most contracts that are credible are written because they're unwritten contracts are not recordable. But it's just a promise. I will do this if you do this. Do you agree? Yes. Here's some money to verify that I said that and I agree with you, and you paid me this much to start. That's a contract. That's an agreement. If then, you see what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with like, with a marriage. Now, if you start that marriage, if you start that relationship off with the proper mindset, there's no way you can make a statement and say, oh, this one benefits more than that one. Because you should have gotten your
And,
expectations and what they're expecting off the right away. You know what I'm saying? You should have got, how can they benefit more if you getting what you expected to get? You
Yeah.
shouldn't you shouldn't be walking around with this face. And you got kids looking through. You got your house, even though you could have had a house, but your kids look like they with the same lady. That's money. That's good. That's
Yes.
less
Very.
way less headaches. She's a cute little lady. So, that's good. And you got some kids that you can look after and raise and, have fun with. Come on, man. You're not
Yeah.
even gonna
Change the world.
right. You're not gonna like how much money did you have in the bank October 15th, uh 1918? I mean, 2018. How much money was in your bank account October 15th, 2018? Go. Do you remember? Without looking
I
at the
know,
record.
right?
You don't care. But I guarantee you can say, oh, my baby's birthday in 2018, or my baby got born here, or this happened. We went to see grandma, or we went on this trip. You can remember that stuff. And your children going to remember that stuff. So, it's just like we got to get out of this transactional mentality about relationships. These relationships they are worth way more than just some money. That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, the love of money.
Yeah. It's like my boy at work. He talking about something. See, if a woman could lock me down now, he's investing his money. He listens to Boyce Watkins, and he does invest money. Um, he's into like a home buyer programmer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought a nice little property, which is good. And that dude in the photo knew exactly what he was getting himself into when he married her. She's a Latina. She's fire, and he knew he would get burnt. Yeah. Yeah. He got 4 kids, which isn't just an accident. Exactly. So something's happening there. He's getting some benefits. But the point is,
Yeah.
yeah, like people act like, you're going to be spending money no matter what. I don't know
Absolutely.
what you're thinking.
It's
You're
just
gonna
what you gonna spend it on.
And then if you done pay for somebody to get the kid killed, you can't say you don't have any children. You just killed them
No,
all. To me, that's
exactly.
how I look at it. You just murdered yours.
I was checking out Angela Stan King show one
Mhm.
day, and she had brought that up, and I had never thought about that. She had said though that when you have an abortion, you just a parent to a dead kid,
Yeah.
and I mean it's one that person has taken the life of, and I never thought about that. I mean that's heavy, bro. That is heavy.
That's right.
And for the woman, you still giving birth. The child
So,
just not alive.
exactly. You just gave birth to a dead body.
Yeah, and it's not dead because the Lord decided that this is
You,
going to be a stillborn. You did,
yep.
Miss. It's a woman's choice and all that. I mean, bro.
And these guys be paying for that.
Yeah,
These guys be paying for that killing, that dead baby stuff. They
and
do. Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm so thankful for the Lord's forgiveness because He does forgive that. And those who, I mean, we can never expect a reverend like Raphael Warnock to ever,
No,
share such information, but
no.
he does forgive.
Nah, Warnock, he won't even talk about. I got a clip where this man won't even talk about reparations. He's been told he must walk straight away from that kind of talk, I guess, because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it came out, and I just heard this year that part of the WikiLeaks dump by Julian Assange exposed that the Democrats, meaning the DNC, their part of their protocol is that when it comes to blacks, just Let them know you understand and
Hillary.
sympathize, but make no promises.
Yeah, that was Hillary's thing. That's called benign neglect. That's what Claude Anderson told us about.
Yeah, those are two cleaner words than I would use to describe what that is. Because man, that's disgusting.
Well, I mean, we just need to understand like this is what it is. This is what they're doing, and it's like once you got that, they got to come out with it, and they can't say nothing to me. They can't say nothing. You seen I posted on Facebook. These people want you dead, basically. They want to
Oh
erase.
yeah.
So that's what I post. And they went crazy. These
What you mean? No black agenda.
and there's another guy out there called Mac.
Mac Coley. Mac Coley. Is he Hawaiian?
Nah, he's from Illinois. Rock I forgot what that city's called. Rockmont or something. Rockwood or some crap. Rock something, Illinois. I forgot. Anyway. He's just like this dude I'm talking to at work. These people be brainwashed, man. Brainwashed. They can't
or brain damaged.
Yeah. He loves to call people brain damaged too.
Well, he may be the one that is.
I do believe that because he keeps I think he got those things, those little TOCP stuff. He got that stuff just hyperlinked. And as soon as somebody say something, he just keep reposting the same thing. So that's how it is, But let me read this. I just want to go through this here. Yeah, just don't vote because I don't vote for stuff that's not going to do. It's not going to do anything for me. That's what they want. They want you to. And I'll play something for them CIA. There was a CIA, an old CIA agent who told you, Stockwell. This guy, he said basically that, they have mastered the art of, getting their agenda passed through no matter who gets elected.
Yes.
So
yes, and
literally,
one of their mantras is once what is it? The American public believes a lie.
I got it. Hold on a second.
Yeah, bring it up.
I got that. Hold on. This is the director of the CIA. He literally said this. This is a quote from him. Here it is. William Casey. We'll know all our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false.
Wait, hold on. I thought disinformation and misinformation were illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, except for the CIA.
Oh yeah, the CIA. I mean, you know what? I think I will do a show just on them. I'm gonna get a couple of clips that I picked up. I mean, just people forget stuff. They believe that. I mean, true enough, normal life is normal, but this stuff affects you. Affects all of us. The disinformation, which is legitimized disinformation. So the thing about legitimation, with the way the human brain works, this is foolish. This is valid information. We can say, oh, if the information came from a 2-year-old and it sounds silly, we might dismiss it. And then later on, but if it came from somebody who we respect, such as, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson or something, or
boy,
Clinton,
or better said, people we are told we should respect,
right? Or the news said it. The news said it exactly. Terrorism is a thing. This was in 1982. I mean, I would get it up, but it would take a minute for me to find it. But CIA is a terrorist organization. This is something that even their former employees will say. I mean, they have said it, so it's
Hey, I
like
mean, you heard what Pompeo said. Uh, we lie, steal, and cheat.
that's their job.
That they had classes and to learn this stuff. I mean,
Yeah, that's their job. And the thing is, it's terrorism. But this, like I said, people don't understand how deep this stuff goes because what it is they can't be blatant. It has to be in some of the things that you won't even understand, like in your movies.
oh yeah.
Like online, of course, little stuff that you wouldn't believe. Like they're not worried about that. Not that.
Hey,
Toys,
headlines.
Mr. Potato Head toys, and babies' toys on cartoons. Little stuff that you wouldn't even think about. You know.
And
Mm,
and when Obama, there's this is it an order? I mean, it's not an order. It's not a proclamation. It's more than that. It's an act. The
okay.
Smith-Mundt Act.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled. You know how to spell myth. I mean Smith. Munt is spelled Mundt, and that act was put in place so propaganda would never be used on the American people by the American government. Well, when Obama was in office, that act was changed.
Oh,
It,
Smith.
wa- it, wa- yeah, yeah, and they said that they changed it in order to strengthen it, but what they did was weaken it. So now propaganda can be legally used here in
Let's look
America
at
on
this here.
American citizens. And I mean,
How
and you look at the headlines. I mean, bro,
HR 5736, the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. Wow.
yeah,
House
there
Foreign
you go.
Affairs. Who sponsored this? Representative Thornberry, that guy of Texas, and Mac. Okay.
How about just liars?
Yeah. Well, that's what my
Lis-
politics are synonymous was. It says these are actually Republicans too. So okay,
Mhm.
Republicans and Democrats. Okay, so I'm
Same bird.
listen to it. Tell me if y'all can hear it when I hold on. Oh, I guess it doesn't. It doesn't make a
Doesn't
noise.
play.
Hold on, it won't play. All right, don't worry
It,
about it.
it
Try it one more
it's
time.
making look. It's making enough noise
You don't have
on
the
the
right
headlines
to
and the news. I mean,
authorize. You,
have you
sir, are not authorized. Cannot get document, whatever. All right, so we can
have you
read. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
have you seen you've seen Jimmy Kimmel, where he's taking clips from different news programs all across America, and it completes a whole sentence because they're saying the same thing.
Mm.
I was watching this other content creator, Ryan Christian, on Last American Vagabond. He played a clip where it started with one news program saying what they're saying. Then there's two news programs saying the exact same thing. Then there's three. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
no, it went 1, 2, 4,
yeah,
8, 16,
yeah.
32. And the whole screen is filled, and it's like this
I seen that
groundswell of group
propaganda.
think. Yeah, propaganda, propagandized group think that is, oh man, I couldn't even understand what they were saying. It was so filthy. I mean, there's no way you can deny that programming is happening when you see that.
Well, I mean, they tell you it's programming, so
They do, but I mean,
yeah,
understanding what that actually means
right.
for some of us in our community is difficult. I mean, bro, I've had a for lack of a better term, a back and forth with this guy online who does not seem to be able to grasp that he thinks that the people that were in DC for J6
Mhm.
were more of a threat to his well-being than the clowns that were cowering and hiding under their desks because they thought the people outside were coming in. Those people inside are the problem more
Yeah.
so than the people outside. Not saying that there aren't, you know, the McMichaels down in Brunswick who killed Ahmaud Arbery, or the cops who killed Caroline Smalls in the same time.
Well, the thing is, though, let me check this out. Let's read this real quick. I just want to read this little part of it just to get an outline because I'm glad you came on because I'd never heard of this here. So it says HR 5736, 112 Congress, 2011 to 2012, and this is called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. It says Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 amends the United States Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948. So that's what 50 to 64 years of precedent. It changes it. All right. So
Yes.
it amends the Educational Exchange Act of 1948 to authorize the Secretary of State, which was Hillary Clinton, and the Broadcasting Board of Governors to provide for the preparation and dissemination of information intended for foreign audiences abroad about the United States, including about its people, its history, and the federal government's policies through press, publications, radio, motion pictures, the internet, and other information media, including social media, and through information centers and instructors. Under current laws, such authority is restricted to information disseminated abroad with a limited domestic exception. Okay, so they said it's restricted only to the information abroad with limited domestic exception. How limited anyway?
Not very.
So this authorizes the secretary and the board to make available in the United States motion pictures. So the United States government, Secretary of State, is involved in motion pictures. Okay.
Woman
Okay.
King. You know
Film,
what?
videos, and other materials. Let me finish this part. And other materials prepared for dissemination abroad or disseminated aboard. See, this is the kind of language I got to look up. Pursuant to such act. The United States International Broadcasting Act of 1994, the Radio Broadcasting to Cuba Act, propaganda, or the Television Broadcasting to Cuba Act. Okay, Cuba is an enemy. Amends the Foreign Relations Authorization Act, fiscal years 1986, 1987, to prohibit funds for the Department of State or the board from being used to influence public opinion or propagandizing in the United States. Under current law, such provisions apply to the United States Information Agency. Okay, so yeah, it's I'm just looking at that, but let's see. Let me finish this part. Let me go to the end here. States that such provisions shall not prohibit the department of the board from providing information about its operations, policies, programs available to members, media. Anyway, this kind of word
So
salad. But
that at the end sounds like they will share the fact that they align with the media openly if they ask.
Right.
But as far as just coming out and letting everybody out here know, well, we're not gonna do that. This,
Mm.
man, this is
Yeah.
sick.
So, well, they just
And,
adjusted. Let's see. That's go ahead. That's interesting.
but they show it in the medium that they choose, whatever medium they choose to use. I give you an example. Here locally, a few years back, the Falcons got a new um coach. And I
Mm.
remember hearing on the sports station here, and they were talking about the radio station, the host, the radio announcers. They were saying that, well, they give us certain information, and we're gonna share some of it with you.
Mm.
And because they have a text line, I texted in. I said, "What is this? Yellow journalism in sports? I mean, dude, what? I mean, come on,
Hey,
man.
they putting it in. They're gonna influence you. Let me read this
Yeah,
part here with this. I just want to read this exchange that I had on this here, this little Instagram part. And because, like I said, I disagree with Boy sharing this because I'm not sure. I mean, this is I can say that this is just something. I can't say this is something intentional because people believe this stuff. Basically, to me, this says that if you don't have money, you shouldn't have children.
oh well,
Now,
gosh.
now, technically, maybe that is technically true.
uh,
But no, the reason why I say that is when I say technically, I'm not talking about true in reality. But uh, in a perfect world, okay, you should make sure that you have the resources to provide for the family. Okay, in a perfect world. But we don't
well,
live in a perfect world. Okay, this is
we
the
do
issue.
not.
So you want to go extinct. So anyway, so basically, I posted in this. I said they will get money. Best believe. Unfortunately, we if we relied on our well-to-do people to maintain our population, we would be extinct. So basically, if you relied on people who supposedly responsible and got their money and this and that, how many how big would our population be? We would have no numbers because these are the people who ain't having hardly no kids. A lot of them are dying without childless. Oh, I got nieces and nephews. Oh, really? But no one.
Those aren't your children.
But you're not responsible directly for anyone. I mean, then you get like maybe one or two. Maybe that's cool, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But how are you going to grow population when you're living in a situation where you're being poisoned and you in an environment where there's so much hatred focused against your demographic? They're going to kill you. They're going to whittle you away, which is the plan. And people don't seem to understand that. Like that is the reality. You got to deal with what it is. So some people agree with me. Here's some of the disagreements.
I mean,
Affirmation.
it's
Go ahead.
absolutely diabolical. I mean, to con a whole group of people, not everyone in the group, of course, but for what we're talking about, a whole group of people into believing abortion is health care.
See, and the thing is, Leroy. But see, the issue
Oh
that
my
I have,
God, man.
the issue that I have is actually they have conned the group because some of the very smartest. These are the people who are told that they are smart and they are intelligent. But these are the mainstream people. They're looking at you like, oh, you
You got the horn growing out your forehead.
like you conspiracy theorists. Oh my God, I can't. No,
I
you're
just
not
can't.
educated. I've gotten degrees, and I'm very well rounded person. I am not an imbecile, and you're telling me something. Like they're looking at you like something's wrong with you, but the facts are the facts. And I even wrote that. I said you can have all the money you want if you don't have any children. You don't have a fighting chance for the future.
No, no, no. But over here where I live,
Who's gonna get
there,
Oprah's money?
go ahead.
Is Oprah's
Who's got
children gonna get her money?
is open? She got to have some first, don't she?
See, right there. This woman don't have
But
no.
she'll probably leave it to a dog.
Okay, and
Jesus.
the lawyers, all of those people who you don't see, they're going to get that effort that she worked for all her life. She's a billionaire, but doesn't matter. Tyler Perry has what, one child? He was at least smart enough to have one, even though maybe he's dealing with some challenges.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, I mean, he was smart enough to at least have one. But people laughing at, guess who they're laughing at? Nick Cannon. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing it the way Nick Cannon is doing it. But really, Nick Cannon is actually kind of closer to being more effective as, you know, if as a rich person than these other people are. So, bro, look at this, Michael, bro, this is such a short-sighted comment. You know, this guy disagreed with me. He said my comment was short-sighted. Way too many folks having kids solely on benefit of government assistance, which is literally designed to keep you stagnated. Okay. And I'm like, okay, true. But if we tell those people who are having all these babies for money, which really is a defense mechanism, if you're oppressed, you're going to have more babies. Yeah, that's just a defense mechanism. And it's literally nature. Keep in mind, you know, before they invented money, people were having children.
Yes, I was just about to say that earlier. That, you know, if money is the end all be all, how did people ever manage to survive when they had to farm for themselves? How did they manage to keep a family? They didn't have money.
They'll brush
But
that right aside.
yeah, like that don't even matter.
Yeah,
And
people.
that's not even going to the point of where the word tells us that, you know, the Lord cares. I'm paraphrasing, but He cares about, you know, the sparrows He made, and He makes sure they eat. That it's worms coming out the ground for them. How much more does He care for you?
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna get money. Like, you know,
Yeah,
people don't understand. Like, there's stuff out here. There's resources. The world has resources. That welfare is a resource. Okay, take it. Every time we got somebody trying to make you feel embarrassed for taking advantage of a resource. And then I sit up here and I tell people, you got folks running from other countries with 10 kids in tow. And then they get in and you got Eric Adams or whoever, this guy in New York, talking about, oh, we're having a state of emergency because we are a sanctuary city, but it's just too many.
The same New York City that has Ellis Island and welcome how many people up in here?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So
Eric Adams is a clown. Him and his, you know, drink this water, it tastes great and all this other crap. Man,
but my thing is this idea that these people that are so-called intelligent, they have grown up to believe, even since they were children, not to have children. Children you don't want to be a teenage mother. Don't want to be a teenage mother. Don't want to be a teenage. I'm doing good. I'm not a teenage mother. I'm doing good. I'm not, you know, that stuff was drilled in our head. And that's why I always play this here. You know, I always play this. Look, this stuff was this mentality. This is what this did to us.
This is not true for most black children. For them, things are getting worse. Today, black teenagers have the highest pregnancy rate in the industrial world. And in the black inner city, practically no teenage mother gets married. That's no racist comment. What's happening goes far beyond race.
And the way he's presenting that, he seemed like he's so concerned. Black people, this is a travesty. We want to help you. You're having babies, and these women aren't even married. It's such a travesty. Make them wait. Make them wait to have babies. Well, why don't we teach them how to get married to the right person? No. Stop having babies.
No. Why don't we? Hey, why don't we?
Early.
Why won't they turn around and look at the government that put policies in place that put the black man out the home and incentivize the black woman to make that happen. They won't look at that.
Right. But see, the thing is, this is what they were doing back in the times when our parents were younger, and these kids, this is what was being preached. This is why these people who are so-called intelligent and smart, and they got these degrees and everything, this is the stuff they were listening to, believing, and they were, I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm going to be better than that. They were growing up believing that. And the thing is that, when you teach something to someone and they believe it when they're younger, it actually becomes part of their, their focus. Yeah. The 80s.
It's hard to separate them from it.
Yeah. This is the 80s. Exactly. But look, this is the message. It's like a call of alarm to these black teenage pregnancies. There's no marriage. There's no marriage. There's, they're having babies. Oh my God, they're having babies. They're teenage mothers. But we know now that they have a show, teen pregnancy. They made it a cool thing. Octomom is cool.
Yeah.
Those type of things. Comes to
MTV got a whole program about teen moms,
right?
Encouraging the behavior. Yes. And the reason I'm against teenage parenthood is because the individual needs to develop first and be an actual adult. I'm not necessarily saying you got to wait till you 30 something, but you shouldn't be a teenager. You should not be more or less a child having a child, because you haven't had any real world experience.
And I agree with that. That's exactly what I was trying to get clear to this person. This person, technically, I agree with not having broke people have a bunch of children because they can't take care of them. Technically, I agree with that. But we don't live in a real, a world that's really, it's almost, we're like in a survival mode situation. So if we were to depend on the people who have set themselves up in these conditions that we live in, if we were to depend on the people who set themselves up to be able to handle children and childhood correctly, what's going on, BMT? What's up, big bro? Nah, but if we was to depend on them to have kids, we would be extinct.
Yes.
And that's the same thing I'm saying with this. True enough, teenagers should not be having.
And to so many teenage girls and the children they're rearing alone.
Teenagers should not be having babies. But if we was to depend on the well-adjusted adults who have the money to have these big families that we need to grow our population, if we was to depend on them, we wouldn't be here.
We'd be less than the 13% they say we are, which I don't believe.
Which I don't believe that either, but that's why I play this all the time. This is what they were preaching. And so anybody who survived this period of time, and guess what? A lot of these kids, they still alive. I'm talking about they poor and these are teenage moms, and they're making it seem like these people are just down and out and they're just so pathetic. But I guarantee you, these kids lived.
Yes.
They grew up. They ate. They probably ate all day, every day. They probably haven't missed a meal, even though the mom was a teenage mom. And guess what? These kids who were a financial burden at one point, now they're making money. They're assets. Some of them probably got well-to-do, and they probably bought their mama or parents a house. So they forget to talk about that part of the game when it comes to family.
Yeah, they're not gonna share the successes.
See, they want to make you think.
That's not the purpose of propaganda. To share the successes.
Look, it's too much. You're spending too much money. You don't want to get married. Marriage cost. Look how much marriage. Look at where your money is going, brother. You know, you're an ATM machine. You don't want to be that, do you? Look how sad he looks. Look at this. Look at his face. It's so sad. And look at them. They're all happy. You don't want to be the sad one and everybody else is happy around you, do you? At your expense. You're not getting anything out of this. And guess the problem is this. These dudes, but some of these dudes actually believe it. I was talking to another guy at my job. This is an older guy. He's 58. And he's a cool brother. No children, though. I'm like, wow. What's wrong with you? Oh, yeah, I got, $1 million in my retirement. I'm sick of this shit, man. I got to quit this mess. I'm done working. I'm sick of this. He's talking all
and
this
then
stuff.
What you going to do?
Yeah.
Be alone?
I got it all planned out. I got my investments. I got this going. I got that going. Okay. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. I can't make it do that. I'm just, just encouraging you. I'm like, hey, where your kids at? Well, he had got divorced. Ooh. Okay, well, I can understand that. He got divorced and everything. So, and he's been doing his thing. But it's like, bro, okay, you're getting older. You got, you got good health so far. And, but just like the other day, he had left his keys. He forgot. No, we work in a big industrial facility, basically. And this industrial facility is so big, you have to get bussed into the property. Yeah, you can't. Everybody goes to a centralized parking lot, and there's like 10 buses. Yeah, 10 buses. Everybody gets on those buses and get bussed into the industrial facility to where the job is. It's very far away. It's probably like 5 or 6 miles from where you're parking at. Okay, so at the end of the day, this man, he misplaced his keys to his car.
Oh,
he misplaced his keys to his car. He's looking all over the place, right? And so we're helping him look for him. There's different spots in the plant where he was, and it's a mess. So long story short, he didn't find his keys. How you gonna get home? Luckily, he had his one of his sisters had a child. And luckily, one of those children of his sisters was nice enough to come get him.
Wow. See?
Pick his little dusty behind his little stingy self up from work. Right.
And take him home to get his keys, come back to get his car. I mean, how did he get in the house?
All right, James is out. I appreciate your energy, man. Peace. Thanks for being a part of the show. James is a good guy. I like James' energy, and I like his honesty. The honest white man I like that.
Oh, that's the guy from who said that people are immigrating to China. I still find that stunning.
Hey, I like people to say, well, that's cool. I like James. James is,
and that's why I asked him. What people are fighting their way to get into China? I want to talk to them.
It's something because you remember that act that was passed during the Obama administration. They have a certain narrative that they speak on the outside. There's a certain narrative overseas people hear, and there's a narrative that we hear about the United States and about other places in the world. So it's not all the same narrative. No, it's not. Like I said, this dude, this man, I'm like, just people don't see stuff like that as a big deal. Well, I could have called AAA. Okay, well, why didn't you call them? But you knew AAA was going to take forever and how much they was going to charge you to get your behind back to where you live, and then to pick your car up and do whatever you had to do. And like you said, you have a family member who so happened to have a child who is young enough and nice enough to come pick your behind up and to care about you. this family member cared enough to break their routine,
Come see about you.
and to come literally save you from your mistake. You're an old man. Now he's, I mean, he's real talkative, man. He got a lot of energy and he's doing his job and everything. But he can't, and I can tell that he can't see that he's an old man now. Like he's actually
You don't know he reached that point.
right. He's kind of getting. He can still move and do all the stuff he can do, but he's being forgetful and stuff. And I just let him talk sometimes because sometimes he be talking about old man stuff, and I'm just like, okay. He be rambling on. I just like, okay, he don't even notice it. This man is old.
Wow.
So, hey, but guess what? He get to do that because he is old. He has a lot of experience. Learn from him. But, he's at that point where he can just talk a lot of stuff that if he was younger, people would, man, people would have told him shut up.
Yeah.
But right now, because he's at that point, he don't realize probably people just let him just talk.
Like, that's the old man. Let him go.
Let that old man talk. You know what I'm saying? That man just, he's smart because, he might show you something. And you'd be like, okay, you did learn something in your little years, man. So I'm going to be quiet. Otherwise, you might not show me some information. And, go ahead.
But that's information he should be passing along to his children.
Yes. You see that? Right? What you just said it. The information he's showing us, which is fine for him to show us that, but just imagine if he had his own children. They would have been grown by now. Like,
yes,
he's almost 60.
But then his retirement wouldn't be right. He wouldn't have investments and all these material things.
No, he would still have those investments because the investments that he's been working the union for 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so though he would have still had everything he got now. He probably would have more because he would have had a lady or at least somebody even if he got divorced with children, he would have had somebody else to think about. But he was still spending money. He was going on trips and because he told me the other day, oh yeah, I only work, what'd he say? I work for 8 months in the year and then I quit for the rest of the year. Because it's just him.
Yeah, I mean, when it's just you, it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with him doing that. That's good. But at the same time, it's just like, none
of that stuff you're taking with you.
Right. But at the same time, it's just like you need to understand that it's not like you ain't really coming out way ahead as if you was unless as if you had children. It's not like the children is doing anything that's taken away from your life. That's how people talk. That's what I mean. People talk as if they have children. Oh, I ain't gonna have. Just like, for example, I'll show this one. Like people talk about Eddie Murphy. Extraordinarily high earner Eddie Murphy agrees to pay X $35,000 in monthly child support for a 15-year-old daughter. That ain't nothing for Eddie Murphy. He ain't even worried about that. 10,000,
wow.
35,000 a month.
Must be nice.
Money Eddie Murphy got going on.
Yeah, just say he go $35K a month to play with to raise my child.
And guess what?
I mean, what else?
And guess what? Eddie Murphy is still smiling.
Oh, no question. No question, because there aren't stories saying anything to the contrary of that. He headed to the poorhouse or, filing for bankruptcy and coming to get a reduction. No, it says he agrees to pay Mel, the Spice Girl, Melly Spice.
And guess why? I could read some of it. I could pull it up, but the point is, what happened is the Spice Girl lost some of her income.
Yeah, and he supplemented it through child support.
He just added some more to her income.
Yeah.
And people,
but you know,
he is simp. He is simp. Really? This
I
woman
tell
is
you,
doing the job of raising his child. The
and
child is
he
smiling. The child is happy. The child can come and hang with her daddy, and I'm sure the
and
child is being raised, being protected, uh,
uh,
being able to
see,
go to nice places, and
yeah,
she's
they're not living in Cabrini Green.
right. These dudes, they so silly. And then when the child gets an adult, the dad has authority now. Hey, baby, this is the type of guy you should check out. Now you got authority. You get respect as the dad, because what you did your job. You supported the women and the children. That's what you do. Now you get authority. You get some respect there. I mean,
But 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 you know who's being vilified for that very same behavior right now?
what
Herschel Walker,
Herschel Walker, yeah.
because he has multiple children by multiple women.
Mhm.
He's financially taking care of them, but
Yeah.
now the party of dependency, the Democrats are calling him out wherever they can. They saying now he had an abortion uh, that he paid for, and their receipt, they haven't revealed who the woman is, but one of their receipts is a get well soon card he supposedly gave her after an abortion. Really? And it's not even signed,
What's up,
but
Bill?
really?
Yeah. What's
I
up,
mean,
Ben?
that's
You got your boy on. You got your boy on. We talking about this basic subject, who benefits more from marriage and that kind of thing. So,
So we're talking about who benefits more from marriage.
yeah, I mean, we get into our general conversation, so it's whatever's on your mind, but that's basically what
No,
we're
no,
talking.
no. I like this topic. It's a very good topic. But I was recording about talking about some stuff about my past. When we're all men, we have children, and we're getting older. You have an epiphany. You start to look back, and my people, they deal with hospice care. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I watch a lot of men. Y'all can hear me as
Yeah, I
they
can
get
hear you.
older.
You're kind of muffled, but keep going.
Hang on. I'm turn on Bluetooth. I might have to turn it on. So can you hear me now?
Well, no, we can hear you. It's just, I guess I don't know if you're out and about too, but
Yeah, I'm out about, but I went by the halfway house to drop off some stuff.
yeah,
And
BMC is
man,
happy.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Men, you wonder, black men. Let's just talk about black men. You wonder why you're getting left behind because you don't have no type of foundation. Now, you ask a lot about what marriage does for you. It has a lot of benefits of longevity, of sustaining you, keeping you, and stuff like that. Women are nurturers.
Mm,
Men are builders. Now, you can build a car, but it has to be maintained.
right.
It has to be maintained. You look back in the beginning, Adam was working. But when Adam looked around, he saw every other beast had something to nurture with. He was alone.
Mm,
And this is the thing about you seeing a lot of men. This is where you're going back to the basics of society and nature. This is why a lot of men say, listen, man should not be alone. If you look at it, a lot of men, there's a reason why they say kill off the men and take the women and the children. Because they would be added on to that society. They would be added on to their will, their what they would want. And so the thing about it that you're seeing this of a lot of men, marriage is a huge benefit. But the way of American society, it's nullifying that of the need of a man because the government
mm,
in that system is replacing that of the need of a man. So a lot of men feel inadequate because they're like, well, damn, what does she need me there for? But the women are seeing there's an outcry that, yeah, they may make it to the top, but they don't feel protected. Now, that's another thing that the women don't understand about that of protection ain't always something with a sword and a spear.
Right.
Sometimes protection that a man does is protect a woman from herself.
Right.
You see, as a man, you're one to take your woman and bring her back to logic. Women operate on that of emotion. That's why their bodies are all over the place. Now, women trying to be logical, they're out of their nature. That's why we see women that play mom and dad. Huh?
They can be a little bit logical, but then, like you said, they'll get to a point where
I'm not saying that women don't make, but like my mom, I've seen a lot of great women do a lot of great things. But the thing about it is they're removing them. Listen, a lot of women are having to sacrifice that of their effeminate nature of things that they would do to keep their femininity, to that of having to be that of adequate to that of the world. When versus that was that of the law of being a man. You're having women trying to play the rules of being a man, and it's not working out very well for them. Now, the home, because the marriage benefits both of them. It's a contractual obligation, not by the government, but by that of a man and a woman consenting of a life partnership. You sustain me, I sustain you in that of your legacy. Men are dying with no legacy.
I like the way you put that, because you sustain each other, and that's where that's the point that needs to be talked out even more. And like when X has these debates and stuff, those points need to be put out, because these guys, like I said earlier, I'm literally starting to run into manosphere talking points in the real world amongst guys. So that's telling me that some of the dysfunction is actually leaping into the heads of some of these guys who are actually trying to implement this stuff in their life, and they can't understand why they can't get the respect that they feel that they deserve and they're working for.
Well, right. Well, the thing about it, right? And I don't want to say right now, and I'm going to show you, because everybody's saying that it's the manosphere, which we already understand those are confused, lost children. That's why I don't talk to them like that. I stay in my own continent of my panel, or I go to your panel, certain panel, and I'll have somewhat of a discussion. But the minute it starts going to hypersexual gender fights, I'm like, I'm gone. I'm gone. I got no need to try to hold your hand. You got a white man on the news saying, "What about these men? What about these men?" So what about the men? It says the have and the have-nots. Understand that all men were never created equal. No. And you understand that every man is not promised a woman. That was something that you earned. We could all be in the village, and Brother Leo and yourself, if y'all work hard enough and y'all went to a man's household and say, "Listen, I'm a fisherman. Oh, you're a fisherman? So what do you want? I would like to have one of your daughters as my wife to help me build my household." And he said, "Well, I have a fine stock of daughters. You can promise you can take care of her? Because that looks bad on me if I give you something of mine and I'm seeing her harmed and hurt and stuff and damaged. She'll honor and respect your law, but you must honor and respect the law of the village."
Right.
And that's the thing about it. People say, "Oh, well, back in the day, you could just beat a woman." No, the village would have to take care of you. You can't just kill a woman.
That's the kind of talk these people don't understand. Like when they say little stupid stuff like that, like, oh, well, I should be able to beat you. Like, what man? You know, that's why a lot of people end up with these blood feuds back in the day. Because ain't nobody want to give their child away to marriage to somebody, and then the kid comes back and they beat bloody and blue and all this stuff, and you sitting up here, you know what? Who's gonna support that?
They would kill you.
Yes.
Like the thing about that's why I tell. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in the Old Testament, the word does provide a discipline for a man to his wife, not beat her down, to the point of being unrecognizable or anything like that. Just a tune up, we'll say, with we could say with a switch. I mean, in this discussion, I think a lot of times, one of the aspects that is left out is that women, although they may find themselves in a position where they might have to exert some masculine tendencies, A, that's not their role, and B, or I should say subset A, some women, and it may be a result of influenced by society, that some women don't want to conform to what their role is, and their natural role, which would be, if they choose to marry, to, unless your husband, of course, is leading you in the wrong direction. But if he's leading you in the correct direction, you're supposed to follow him. I mean, he gave you his last name. He if he truly loves you, he's not gonna tell you anything wrong or set you up to fail.
Right. But see, the thing is, a lot of times women, to me, this little situation that we got going on in this little society, it separates the girl or the woman from the male support of her family. It's hard for women to tell what guys can tell about men. She can't really tell if this guy is going to be not. She's just looking at a few set of things when she's making her decision on her dude. Oh, he's got masculine energy. Oh, I like the way he's swag, or whatever she's looking at. And that's enough in this society. They play a movie after movie, show after show. The girl just listens to the boy and just walks away, and then she fights her father or whoever, tells her this guy's not good enough for you. And then, the father is the bad guy. But in actual reality, the girl can't tell.
Yeah, she don't know.
She don't know. She think you trying to keep her, barren. You're trying to keep her unhappy and staying with you so she could be the little girl off for it forever. You're trying to cut her out. She can't understand that her actual father or her family member is who raised her, who fed her every single day, who taught her, who made sure she went to school, who made sure all of that good stuff, taught her good stuff. Oh, but now
looking out for your best interest.
Oh, now he's gonna flip out and he's trying to keep me from happiness. Really?
all of a sudden, after all this time and all the things you've done,
logic is out of the door at that moment. And so you have to have a certain degree of authority, because at this moment, the child a lot of times is not logical, and they're not going to immediately understand the decisions. But in this world, the world is going to support the child against you. And
absolutely.
So now, when all your work, the good child, she makes a bad decision. Oh, well, you ain't the daddy. Why should you better go save her? You see, you already seen it coming.
I think the thing about it is this, and like I said, okay. So when it comes to that three thing, one of the discipline, and this is why I always tell a lot of men. I lived amongst that of the Islamic culture for a while. Okay, and I always tell them like, and I've listened to a lot of black men or just men in general talk about that. Well, Sharia law. Okay, and I always let people know I don't think you black men are not built for Sharia law.
No.
None of y'all would holistically be reproducing. None of y'all would actually have anything. Literally, to the spoil and go to victor. Is might makes right. You know what I'm saying? I lived amongst the Sunni, and I fought the Shiites. So I know them very well. So some of them even invited me to their wedding. Now, I remember one time a man slapped his wife at a wedding, and that was in front of the father, and the women didn't say nothing. But the father of the bride grabbed the sword and said, "You slapped my daughter. Well, that's my wife." He said, "But you slapped my child in front of all her brothers." You gotta understand, I'm still a man. That's still my blood.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, if you married her,
Right.
See, the thing about it is, you can say that's your property, but that's still my flesh and blood.
Right.
And I still enact, and I can still enact. That's why I said, like, y'all, we got to be careful. Like, men want to be able to have that of submission over their household and their woman, but they can't deal with that of getting their environment to submit to them.
See,
and if you can't functionally get your environment to submit to you, and see, that's a big thing. I think that has drastically hurt a lot of black men, because we've been fighting an environment that has not allowed you to properly. And I think that's why a lot of black men feel attacked whenever black women say, "Well, you haven't been able to control your own environment." And I understand it does hurt. It does, especially when women say that, because we haven't been able to control the environment. And this is why it's upon us as men. The only environment you can holistically control is what? Your home. That's your main staple of an environment that you can control is your home. You cannot control outside of that street. You can't control that corner. You can't control them from doing nothing in this government, but you can control the one law, like Daddy said, or Mom will say, "This is my house. My house, my rule. If you don't like my house," like I told him,
yep.
I was disrespecting my mama. He said, "Son, if you can't listen to me, you got to get out. This is my house." If I spoke back to my father in his house, he had no problem putting me down on that floor. That was their kingdom. That's the thing about it with black. A lot of men and women got to ask yourself, do you control your kingdom? You don't control your own home, you can't control your narratives. That's the first environment you gotta have dominance on. But a lot of men don't want. They say they want the home, but they don't want that of the accountability of running the home. They don't want that of the accountability of having to make sure that their women and children are okay. You can say, "Hey, look at me. This is my woman. Look at my son throw that football. Look at my beautiful daughter." But that to take care of that shit. And see, when I talk and I come at men talking about that shit, they can't articulate and break down to me how to run that shit, because they don't know how to. And I understand, because a lot of men I'm learning as long as I've been on YouTube, a lot of men are not mentally and spiritually equipped to build or run a home. They may be some of them may economically have the money, and they may be able to reproduce, make children, but they don't know how to actually handle that of the mental barriers of running a home. And so
that's the thing. That's the thing that that's the thing that I try to get across to people. See, it's not even the money because I've seen many clips where guys have money, but and then when they fly a girl out or do something like that, and then the girl still's like not behaving like they were thought, like they were being taught that if you got money, the girl's basically gonna do what you say. But when it don't work like that, they get violent. They want to get violent. And as far as hitting women and stuff like that, yeah, it's like these people teaching certain Sharia laws that this man has this right. But the thing is, like you said, if you don't take control of your environment, you're not controlling the environment. You know how many steps that a person has to break? You know how many options you have in control and discipline before it gets to a physical thing that you have. And if you got to get to a physical situation with somebody, you're toxic. You're not understanding something, because you should be able to deal. You should have picked the person who you can effectively communicate with. It's just like even your children. I mean, as a little baby, maybe a couple pops on the hand or a little something like that. By the time that kid is like 5, you shouldn't really, especially as a man and you're a father and you taking care of your children and you doing the psychological, raising of your children properly. Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. You hear? You there? Who's that? Is that Leroy? Oh, okay. Anyway, but if you're doing the proper raising of your children, you shouldn't have to hit your children like some of our parents hit us.
Yeah. That depends on the situation.
Yeah, that's my point. There's a situation. So this is what I mean by that. Shouldn't is conditional. If you create the proper conditions, you should not have to be hitting in order to rule.
Right. You shouldn't have to. Like, here's the thing about it, man. And I gotta say this.
Go ahead.
Let me get this off. I'm gonna say this, man, because I do believe in that of discipline.
Right.
I do. But I also understand, and I'm gonna tell you right now, my children fear more that of my disappointment,
right,
than my lash. And I try to tell a lot of black people, we got to break out of that narrative that we got to always whoop to get through to our children. See, that's something that was beat into us. Yeah. I got to beat that Negro so that way he'll understand my love for him. You don't got to do that shit. Even the Bible even talks about that. You don't always have to strike your child. You don't have to strike your child. You don't have to hit your child. Hell, even my woman talked to me about it. My wife talked to me. Why do we always have to beat our? You know what we do? We talk to them. We take away from them. We have different other type of punishment because we want to let them understand. Listen, my presence alone is fear, but also love. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike saw that himself when I told them, Mike, how did my children react when I said one day I will pass on and die?
They started crying.
They already started mourning me. They don't like it when daddy talk like that. Because they they can't imagine that of a world without me.
Not yet. And
they can't, but you know, and that's something that their older brother told them. They said, one day daddy is not going to always be here. So we got to listen to him for whatever he's saying. So I had to tell him, you don't have to always fight your brother and sister. You got to learn how to talk to them. That's the thing about it. Black people, we got to stop learning how to listen, man. The home of the first place.
Dude, that's kind of deep what you said, because that makes me think. Now, I was on the opposite end of this for a while, because, you know, I mean, my mom, the conditions in the 80s and 90s, right? You know,
right.
People, you know, you can get your ass whooped. You just get the switches, all that. And my mom and parents got it worse than me, you know. And my grandmother used to always blast at me talking about, oh, you should never hit children, which I don't believe still. You should have the authority. A parent should have the authority. And to me, even a husband, he has the authority. He should, keep in mind this word should. He should have the authority. But if you're properly educated and you're picking properly, and you make sure you avail yourself of the right knowledge, then you know that you will guide your people in a way where you're not using that all the time. You're not having to use that physical authority in order to. This is like the state right now. They got to, sick police on everybody to control them because they're not educating people properly. And so when
Exactly.
when they're not state, that's intentional.
Exactly, that's my point. And so it's the same thing. Like when we dealing with each other, or let's say a brother maybe disrespects you. I don't know. You might take it as disrespect. A lot of times people don't even be knowing what they did. I'm trying to think something like maybe they bumped against you or.
Yeah, they bump you or you say something that they felt as inside. I had a man at the club Saturday said, if the police weren't here, I would kill you.
He said that to you?
Yeah, he said that to me. Now I had my sidearm, and one dude said, Joe, you better than me, but I would have took that pistol and started pistol whipping him and beating him.
See?
And I'm not gonna lie, part of me wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. But black men, again,
you had the authority.
I had the authority, but of course, you know what I do, Mike.
Yeah.
I had the authority. Nobody would have questioned my authority if I would have struck that man for what he said. To them, I was the authority over that whole club.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just a thug, a pookie. No, I'm telling you this. See, this is why. Listen, understand it. I want you to understand this. This is why nobody questions that of authority when somebody strikes you down as a black man. Because they don't see you as an equal or that of an authority.
You are a pookie.
But the physical part though is only a portion of a method of the discipline. I mean, it's not the totality because I mean, as a parent, naturally, your words will be with your children longer than the belt will, because you're going to talk to them. If you love them, you're going to educate them, and not depend on the system to tell them the things they need to know in life, not what's in textbooks, because life is not found in textbooks, when they go to school. But it is important that they do understand what discipline is, because you don't want the streets, and that goes for the state or the streets to enforce discipline on your child. So they have to learn what that is first at home.
That is true. That is true, brother, and I agree with that. Listen, because understand it. I'm not. I understand. Sometimes I got to tear somebody up.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes it ain't.
I understand that.
Hey, BMC, it ain't just because you had a bad day at work. I mean, I have to discipline my son, and I let him, for every time he gets to that point, I let him know, son, these are steps. There's steps you didn't follow, and this is how we arrived here. This is not because I just, things didn't go well for me today at work, and I'm coming here to take it out on you. No, I'm getting calls from the school. You're not following directions. So you leave me no choice.
But, I think, and I'm gonna tell you out of something that some black men, or they're men now, but they were children, have shut it out of their mind. Daddy did used to come home angry at the world,
Mm.
and Daddy did used to take it out on his family. And so, could he say that he was honestly in his right place of order? Because see, in the same way, when Moses was angry at the people, he struck the rock. God said, "I told you to speak to the rock, and strike the rock."
Mm-hmm.
He said,
You bargain a little bit, BMT, just so you know. Is BMT
"I
bargain?
gotta anger that what you love." I understand. And listen, we all been men where our children or our women have done something wrong, and you want to lash back emotionally or physically out of anger, but then you are no longer in your proper place of leadership. So are you now in the place of ordained authority, or are you that of you tyrannically authoritarian? And see, that's the thing why some of these women are saying, "Hey, let's
I don't
keep
need
it a
no man.
buck." You know what I'm saying? So I understand both sides, but I've seen the good men in the family, but I also seen the bad men. I've seen the grandmas on their knees praying to God, "Please sober up this man or make this man get off this crack." But then I've seen the men that were trying to play stepdaddy or trying to make things right and pass the job or try to step in because guess what? Daddy didn't want to do, or you know what I'm saying, certain stuff. Like the movie Fences, when I watched it, I had mixed feelings about the movie because he treated his family like shit, but he also was trying to navigate through the world. And I get it. He was like, "Hey, the world ain't treat me fair, so I'm going home miserable and angry." And yeah, your woman and your child stuck with you, but and yeah, he wasn't wrong in the sense of saying it's telling his son, "I'm doing this because you're my son." But his son asked him a valid question as a young man, "Daddy, do you love me?" And he said, "Well, I'm taking care of you because you're my son. I have to do this." No, no, no.
Thank you.
You don't have to do that. If you want to be a man and walk out on your family, you could. You have the option. We all do. We all know that when we in our car, we look at them bills and we say, "Hell with this. I ain't going home." So you have that option.
I didn't even myself. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Now I know people had that option in their mind, but that right there is, I guess, yeah, I can't think like that. But
You can't. No, but see, here's the thing about it, Mike. You can't ever say it's not there, but
right,
you already told yourself that that is not an option. The option is
Right.
there. The
right,
option's
right,
always been there.
yeah,
But the thing about it is, we refuse to entertain the option. Have I ever
right,
had time where me and mine has separated? Yes. Have I ever had time where I had to leave the home? Yes. But I also understood that of my obligation to that of my home. When I wasn't in there, the bills were still getting paid. I was still sending checks there.
right.
When I wasn't there, when I wasn't there physically, guess what? When she would get into an argument with the children or they start acting up, "Joe, you need to come get these children." If I had to drive 2 hours down there, I had to drive 2 hours down there. All right, line on up.
And
Y'all
guess
gonna,
what you did? You
I
did
had
your job as a man.
I had to do my job as a man, and
See,
I
this
said
is
I'm
what
only just a drive away.
it's a job. It is a job. I mean, literally, it's a job. People don't understand that. It's just like we was talking about a little earlier with me and Leroy. It's just like with the contract thing. It's like Flight Newbie and Queen or something. These women have a job. Boyce Watkins, he started the company, and these women have a job, and maybe they thought something different. And it's separation, but the company is still there. And maybe it's not doing as good because the talent is gone. A lot of the talent is gone, but the talent is not all gone because the thing is still there. In doing, as a man, as a father, as a husband, that is a job. And if you started a process, I mean, that's your job. Now, you might not do your job, and you might, like you said, try to run away from your job. But I mean, the consequences of that is going to follow you. That's just the
Yes.
bottom line.
Yes. I mean, to build on that, I mean, dude, somebody who can just a guy that can just walk away from his family, just walk away and it like you put it, BMT, actually entertain and actualize that option, bro. That's not a man, unless there's a situation that causes that. You understand? I mean, there can be a fracture in relationship where that might be the result. But if it's of his own volition to just say, you know what, the hell with this, I'm single again, bro. That's not a man. I mean,
and guess what? People actually think if they was to argue you down, people literally believe just because they have an argument, unless maybe in their mind they win the argument, that now it's true because they somehow won the argument with you. Well, yes, I am a man. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from being a man. I'm a man. Okay, well,
prove it.
No, you're not a real man because you can't prove it because a man is a thing. It's a definition. It's something. Now you can't just. What kind of man are you? I'll say it that way. If you want to, what is a man? Because if you're a good man or you're a bad man or what's going on there? Because the thing is, how can you prove that you're a man if you can't fulfill the functions of a man? You know what I mean? And when like certain people talk about the alpha male talk and all this crap, it's like, are you a dog or are you a monkey or a gorilla or something? You're talking about the alpha male. Is it just about beating people up? You get put in jail.
On top.
This is what somebody told me. When you get put in jail, then you'll see what alpha male is. Really?
So in jail, alpha male is the one that's not the bottom. Come on, man.
Bro, I gotta be caged in order to fit your definition of an alpha male.
Hey, don't leave out the part about violated, because that's the subtext he coming with.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too.
Come on,
maybe something happened to the brother, man. Because that's what I'm thinking. Because when he starts using those kind of references, I just kind of glazed over it. But it's like, damn, what are you talking about?
That's not the older guy at work, but the other guy at work.
Yeah, that's the younger one. That's the 36-year-old. He's not the older guy. He's pretty stable. He just ain't got no kids. And he said he gonna have a plan. He already met him a young woman. He get him a young one so he can mold her, train her up, and
those are called daughters.
Yeah. That's what he said. He got this young woman.
That's the thing about it. I don't entertain that stuff. Listen, man. I try to tell this to a lot of men when they say, find yourself a young woman or some shit. Yeah. Excuse me, I didn't mean to be cursing like that. But I know we talking as men.
Yeah.
Listen, I always tell men, I don't have time. You need to train your wife. I said, well, damn. I said, listen, the world's hard enough.
Dog.
I train my child. My name. Me, my wife, my daughter. That's what she should have got already.
Yeah.
You Borgin. Are you on the phone?
I think BMT is trying to say you prepare your daughters to be wives. They don't get taught to be a wife once they get with their husband.
And she had to train me how to be a husband. See, that's the thing. So who's training you to be a husband? Who's training you to be a father? That's the half full glasses. Thank you, Leroy, on that. See, that's the thing about it. This is why I said, like, everybody can't sit at the table and have these type of conversations. They can't. They can't have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? There are times where things get hard. Because the thing about it is, here's the thing about it. There's some decisions I've had to make, whereas to my woman says, Joe, are you sure? Fuck it. If we wrong, I'll have to eat the L. I had to hold that.
Yes.
And I had to hold that. And I had to just take that. And she said, I told you. Or I said, you didn't got to say shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing because you the man. You the man. But understand it. But then I have no problem saying, listen, so let's do it your way.
Right.
Let's do it your way. That does not make you less of that does not make you less listen. That does not make you less of a man for having her if she's better at the job to do the job.
Right.
I don't know why it didn't, but some people feel that type of way. You like I remember one time I got off of work. We had to drive up north. That's a 16-hour drive. She said, now normally you would see the man would drive.
Right.
She said, sit in the passenger side, just keep me company. That woman jumped in the passenger thing. Now me, I'm trying to coach her. She doggone telling me. She's like, sit there and just keep me company. All right, that's the first time I ever rode in the passenger side while she's driving. And she just right there just said, I know how to do everything. I watch you. And the thing about it is, you got to ask, that's your partner.
Right.
What's the point of you? What's the point of you? This is why a lot of men die stressful and worn out because they don't trust their partner enough to take the wheel.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to tell your boy at work, my boy at work. I'm like, listen, when you're talking about marriage, if you really have internalized this, it's really stupid. But I can't call it stupid because people actually believe it, and it insults them when you call. I want them to listen, so I don't call that thing stupid. But if you would say that, oh, the woman benefits more from being married, I'm like, if you believe that, then you haven't done the job and you don't understand how to pick your partner.
And he doesn't. They don't understand what marriage is. Anyone who says that.
Well, they have a warped definition. It's a dysfunctional definition because, people believe what they believe, but, and you can't make everybody believe certain stuff. So I can't, and I don't even want to. I want people to believe.
That's what he's failing at. We're trying.
But you can't. But you can't recognize, when someone is on track.
It's dysfunctional, because the stuff you're talking about don't even work for what you say. So it's
that's why people say I stopped trying to tell people go have kids.
Right.
I stopped trying to tell people go get a wife, go get a husband. Sometimes I'm starting to understand if it ain't for you and you ain't mentally, physically, and economically there, then I gotta let you know. That's why I was showing that video when I had my dog. I said some people ain't even control their own damn life, so they don't need to be control of a little life that cannot fend for themselves.
Right.
Or they can't control, or they don't understand that I make money, but my woman don't listen to me.
See,
because she don't see you as that.
There, yeah.
Listen, I done seen this kind of stuff, and they'll get mad because there's a man with little to no money, and he has no problem dealing with his woman.
And they get jealous.
And I try to tell them, man, well, sometimes if she says something back, you gotta smack her around. I say, so why would she want to be under you if you gotta beat her to understand you? I said, so tell me what, how would you like it if I beat you if you can't do your job efficiently?
Yep.
Like, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we keep dehumanizing the black man and black woman.
On that note, look at this. On that note, I'm thinking about this here.
All these white motherfuckers. But Mom, I'm white.
Daddy's just upset, baby, because he's lazy and the white man makes him work hard.
Oh, wow.
Listen, that episode was so deep.
That's the image. And guess what the man does? What did he do?
You just break that vase.
Sweet Jesus! Lord have mercy! My baby!
Just see that? That's how you get demonized as the band.
Right.
Because though you ruling by your fist and you beating them. And guess what? As soon as you walk away, guess who goes right behind you?
Just having fun with off limits in Mister's house.
Nigga, did I just catch you having fun?
See, mama right there. She right there. It's funny, but see, they communicate some real deep stuff. Mama is right there. That's why the kids making songs about
that's the woman king.
Right. It's whatever you want to call it, but this is a reality. That's how, the men are demonized, especially the black man, because all he wants to do is beat. That's how they presenting it. It's not actually true for everybody, but all he wants to do is beat. But this woman is right there. Oh, I'm gonna protect my baby, and she, doing the best she can, even though she got blonde hair. She
got her own confusion going on.
But I mean, I thought that was deep. BMT was talking about, how we got to be very careful, especially nowadays, especially on the internet, with our language, especially if we're smart men or BMT, No, but especially as smart men, because we should have the authority, and this is where I'm very, very careful with my words, the authority to use physical discipline. Okay.
Yes.
You should be worthy of that authority. But what your enemy is going to do is make you look unworthy of that authority. And when we get online and start talking about, we have the authority to beat the children, beat even our women if we wanted to, that scares the shit out of the women. And then you got a cartoon like this.
Have mercy,
But Mom, I'm white.
Daddy's just upset, baby, because he's lazy and the white man makes him work hard.
I had two younger brothers, my brother Daryl and my other brother Darrell. But
you see, did you ever watch this?
No. What is this?
This is the Boondocks origin story of Uncle Ruckus.
Okay.
And it's actually funny, but me or you and anybody with who looks beyond just the
surface,
you're gonna see some good information put through here. And it's some
damaging information too.
Well, it's some damaging stuff. Yes, it is damaging, but I think the way they're presenting it, they're making it like jokey, but the damaging information is purposely made explicit. Like it should be very easy for you to. They're putting it out for you to catch it. They putting it out there so you can look at it and think about it. And what it is, this is how basically they're saying this is how people who are traitors against your community are made. This is how they're made right here. And it's funny.
But
it's very funny. But the image of the man, the black man, he's not the image that we would want to, keep. But this is the image that Hollywood wants. This is the image that the mainstream wants you to keep of your man.
And that's why I said the other side of it, that it's some things you can glean from it for the positive and the negative.
Right.
And I've only had limited interaction with Boondocks.
Yeah.
I would encourage it's just not my cup of tea.
No. But yeah, I would encourage you just check that out. I didn't want to play the whole thing because we about to end it off anyway. But yeah, we had a good show. It's at the 2-hour mark. I'm glad you came up. I'm glad BMT came up. I'm glad James came through. Shouts
out to BMT.
Yeah, we had a good talk. And I think this is a valuable show too for people, who had that conversation, because I think we were a pretty balanced crew. And so, we are brothers that's married. So, we do love our women, we love our children. Uh, and
And
we are,
our people.
yes, and our people in our community. So we are trying to see
Yeah.
a better society. So this idea that men who benefits, we kind of are biased that, I think both people benefit more, especially if they do it right.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you
Look,
want it, right mentality. Hmm.
let me share something my mother told my cousin, and she never shared this with. I mean, it was a conversation that was being had, so she didn't necessarily like have to share it with me. But
Hmm.
my cousin, and he's divorced from his wife, but
Hmm.
and that's no fault of his own. But he said that at the time, he and his wife's friend, a female, they were with, had come to see my mom, and the female was having some issue with her man, not my cousin and his wife at the time.
Hmm.
And my mother said something that is so simple, and but I mean, it's common sense. You get further as a team.
Right.
You get further as a team, and
Right.
people do. I- People are not willing to accept their roles. I think
Right.
that is the major issue. I mean, you can lay that at men and women's feet, and
Hmm.
of course, to go past that, but we're only talking about normal marriage, and I think that has definitely been established in everything that we discussed tonight.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the point I want to drive home, that people just accept your roles. It's nothing wrong with it. You were
And,
given that role for a reason. Women. What you were saying earlier about abortion. Uh, some women some believe that the child is a parasite. No,
mhm.
that is an honor, and I'm not. I recognize it's an honor. I recognize. I don't. I'm glad I don't have that honor,
Right.
but that is an honor that has been bestowed upon women to be able to carry life.
Right.
I mean, we carry it in the form of our seed and sperm, but that's not the. It's two different bodies, but existing together for 9 months. That is incredible,
Yeah.
and
It's
women.
a miracle.
Unfortunately, society doesn't value that like they should.
Well,
Is it?
this is the society that is headed by the enemy. And that is the society that, we shouldn't even be worried about trying. We shouldn't expect anything else. These people reward evil and
Ooh,
punish good. So they kill all the good people. Martin Luther King, Jesus,
well,
same people.
um,
Rome is the one that hung Jesus, and then this Roman society, which is Latin, which is which was the British, which it funnels all the way down to this same exact society. This is the
I mean,
Western world. They
they,
kill. Their job is to steal, kill, and destroy. So that's what they do. I
I
mean,
mean, they made Jesus white, but bro, I gotta share this with you. I
mhm,
was listening to Demetri K today,
uh-huh,
and she brought out that Dr. King accepted an award, uh, not from Margaret Sanger, but
mhm,
I guess from one of her groups. I had no idea, and
mhm,
it's hard to not consider that. I mean, he was a smart guy. I mean, from what we're told, are smart, and we've gone over that many times about
mhm.
where they gave me the paper and I'm smart now. Well, he had to know what she was into.
No, not really, because the thing is, see, this is how the Bible even
Mm,
tells you. Let me tell you something here. This is very
let's have
easy.
it.
This is very
Let's hear
easy.
it.
The word even tells you How do you judge a tree?
You know a tree by the fruit it bears.
Okay, that's how you judge. Action. What did this man produce? What was this man doing? Now, he was doing something at this stage of his life, and then he changed a little bit at a different stage of his life. He tried a different strategy. If you change what you're doing, that means your belief changed prior to that a little bit. So that's how you judge. You don't, just because the enemy gave somebody an award and they accepted it at one point in their life, look at that point in their life. Look at them. Martin Luther King was only 39 years old when he actually died. So a lot of the work that he was doing, he was young, and he was very young. And that's a lot of times what the enemy does. They get you when you're young, and then they compromise you, and now you're embarrassed because later on you realize something different now. So, I don't, that don't faze me at all, because of course they're going to go after Martin Luther King, because Margaret Sanger said the preacher, that was their agenda. They go after the
exactly.
preacher.
The
So of course
Project.
she's gonna go after him. But if I've heard Martin Luther King encouraging black people to kill the kids, or if I heard Martin Luther King saying that we don't want black people to get resources so they can take care of their families, if I hear that kind of language, if I see that kind of conversation or that kind of talk, then I say, oh, maybe she got to him. But if I see the opposite, I say, well, maybe they approach it, because just like they gave Barack Obama, what did they give him before he did anything? The Nobel Peace Prize, whatever call it,
for just being elected as the first black president.
Started wars all over the place. So what they do here is they know how loyal black folks is. We really value our friendships and stuff like that. Oh, so they'll butter you up right in the beginning. That's why they always start off with a smile. Hey, what's up, Leroy? Hey, man. Yeah, and then, they get all loyal to you, and then next thing you know, they ask you something they already know that's going to compromise what you believe. See if you're strong enough to, I thought you were cool, bro. I mean, I thought that was just something.
I know you had principles.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were. I mean, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but if that's the way you want to do it, okay, now, I guess we'll look at you a little bit differently, but I mean, I guess you understand that. So what? Like, do you care? You're gonna, that's kind of the stuff that they do. So, they tested him, and I'm looking at the legacy that Martin Luther King said with the March on Washington. He wasn't as, you got to realize, like, some people really believe certain things, and then when the truth or when the reality of something is actually made known to them, then they get sick. Then they start really changing, but all the stuff they did before, and they really were a true believer in that. They believed that, as long as we get the electoral process, and if we do this with the integration thing, and then once it happens, and then they see, we were just easy. It's easy to integrate the lunch counter, but they're not sharing money with us. They're not sharing resources with us. Okay, now I thought, yeah.
So with hindsight, because I've always, even from being very young and learning our history, that integration did us no favors.
Mm-mm.
Ultimately, I mean, I actually agree with Martin Luther King's father, Dr. King, that, bro, we were better off on our own.
Right.
There were things that we may not have had access to, but the pictures I sent you of Carmelithia Gums, she's a council person here. She's more concerned with trash in the streets. Yeah, her. She's more concerned with trash in the streets than the lives of children. Mm-hmm. And that's the comment I made. This post is about her wanting to clean up the area, which is not like overly filthy. It's just we have certain people who decide to throw things out their cars. Yeah, that needs to be addressed. But if you go to the next picture, the only comment I made was I wish she was as concerned with children's lives as she is with trash in the streets. And I mean, you can look at her response. She doubled down.
Hmm.
She doubled down and,
Yeah.
spoke
Please
about women's
explain, because
rights.
I'm totally unclear where you developed that analysis. You can't be serious. Oh, she put some sauce on it too.
Oh,
Secondly,
she was hot.
I am a mother. Anything regarding the safety of children is important to me. However, I can only speculate that you, speaking of the abortion legislation, which is fine. I believe in women's rights. So, something as intimate as making a personal decision, whatever. She supports abortion, but she's talking about she believes in the safety of children. Okay.
Yeah, how? How Sway? I mean, good night. That's why I said she doubled down on it. And I've thought a lot about, responding again, but I don't have to. I mean, she doubled down. So her position will not change barring
Well, see,
divine intervention, I imagine.
people put emotional attitude folks in positions of authority, and then when their constituents express a concern, they can't listen to it because they're so emotional about their own thinking. Instead of saying, okay, hold on. Now I know I believe what I believe, but this person.
Very
And this
interesting.
is why that's why I even like, let's say with the Dr. King thing. Just because somebody does something that for let's say somebody who is maybe an agent or evil, it confuses me. But I'm like, okay, why are they doing this? What's the point? Okay, what do they believe? Because they're food too to that person. Those people will kill them just as soon as they can. But what ends up happening is these people believe the crap, and sometimes once they actually, it's made clear to them in their heart of hearts that, oh, I am a sellout, and I am wrong. Once they really feel they're wrong, they could either become an absolute coon like Warnock, because he knows he wrong. This man know he wrong, or they will change a little bit and they'll start trying to do something, or they'll quit or something. That's what it is.
Or they might become just super on fire for that they stood for. I mean, Norma McCovery, who lied about being raped, who the Supreme Court used to put abortion on people who don't want it, have no use for it, the entire country. By the end of her life, she stood in opposition to it. She stood in direct opposition to it. She didn't get airplay, like I guess we should expect.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is, it's like this is how they running this stuff. But the thing is, we got to understand too that there are these people, our people, and especially when you seeing folks in different points in time of their lives. I mean, they are human beings, so all of them ain't completely clicked in and evil, and you can tell by the fruits. You can tell by their action. You can tell by what they're producing. If they consistently produce evil and then they get confronted, well, you get somebody younger and maybe they did something and they get confronted, and maybe you start seeing something different, then what you'll start seeing the media start demonizing them or whatever. Maybe they don't, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe they really believe something that now they're changing on.
Is that what we're seeing with Kanye?
Well, I'm going to play it. Well, Kanye, I'm not sure, because Kanye, to me, he's playing the system. and I think he might be. The thing is, Kanye is looking at a game, the way his mind works, and he's going to play into that game. Now, he is somebody who you could look at because he's buying land, he's doing certain things that actually matter more than he's educating people. So those things matter a little more than the politics. But he's going to play the game. He's also going to play stupid because he knows just like a lot of black people got into place by being just a spook who sat by the door. Yes, sir.
Look,
just
look,
serve.
Michigan reported that he was gonna go in on the Jews today on Twitter, and they wiped out his page.
Yep. And because they know they ain't gonna if he say he's gonna do something, he'll do it. He will do it. So they're gonna use their powers against that. Because the thing is, one thing about Kanye, he's gonna play stupid. And if you believe he's stupid, to me, you dumb.
Yeah,
because this man got he's amassed a fortune. He's richer than I think most Americans. I think he's the second richest black American that exists.
Wow.
And you think he's stupid though. You see how media. That's what I'm saying. People think they consistently call this man stupid, but they can't reproduce what he's done. He's obviously a genius business person, but the way he gets a pass on a lot of stuff is he plays dumb.
But to what you said about being able to reproduce on other posts in my community, I've shared that, we want one of, if not the blackest city in America. Why aren't we trying to reproduce what they did in Greenwood and learn what they did to make a dollar circulate 38 times before it left?
Oh, we know what they did. But
look, I won't get a reply from a council member on that.
Oh, no, because they're trained. They're scared. Listen to this real quick. This is exactly why I say Warnock knows exactly what he's doing.
High school here, back after graduating from college.
Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
Hello, Senator Warnock.
Hi,
how are you? Very good. I want to ask you about reparations.
Listen,
so lineage, she just got to talk to him. So the white lady just got to talk to him. I can't talk to him. So the white lady just got to talk, but we can ask about reparations. I hope y'all see it.
Back after graduating from college.
Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
Hello, Senator Warnock.
Hi,
how are you? Very good. I want to ask you about reparations.
Listen,
so lineage, she just got to talk to him. So the white lady just got to talk to him. I can't talk to him. So the white lady just got to talk, but we can ask about reparations. I hope y'all see it.
Now we see that, right? That's how we know. This is your so-called representative that you're supposed to support. He don't even want to talk about a black agenda.
Sounds very Stacey Abrams-ish.
Exactly. He's a black man. He's scared to talk about a black agenda, or he refuses. See, this man is not worth anything to us. He's not worth anything to us because he's just going to continue the agenda of the enemy for us.
But we have people that are ready to vote for him and will sway you down, even behind that well, you expect me to choose Herschel? I tell him quit. No, you don't have to pick either one.
I don't care. If Herschel gets in, let him get in. If Warnock gets in, let him get in. Because
don't help.
The same thing is going to happen. At least, maybe Herschel will keep, like you said, some of the immigrant stuff going on and some of the abortion stuff. But guess what? It really doesn't matter because you're not going to get the agenda that you need from them. You're going to have to fight either one of them in order to get your agenda.
Absolutely.
So you need to have that in mind. So anyway, let me get up out of here. Time
hit
for
the music, Doc.
Let me hit some music because they messed me up the other day. I think I'm gonna hit it right. Let's try this one. Yeah. How's that?
I'm trying to peep it out. What is it?
Can't hear that. Hey,
A little bit.
they
It
messing
ain't
up.
I shot the sheriff, is it?
Nah, they're messing up my sound. I can't believe that. I got to come up with something else to get this music to y'all. I got to come up with something else. My music ain't on. This is horrible.
No, it's all good.
They
It's all
messed up.
good.
They messed us up, man. They messed up my dang on music. I'm mad now. But anyway, let me. Yep.
Hey, they might stop the music. They can't stop the message.
Nope, they can't. YouTube is something else. They must have put something in here. Let me see. Here it is. Hold on.
Woo! There we go.
Yeah.
The same system that's exploiting us that is taking advantage of everybody. That's the whole story. You have those working with the system getting fucked by the system. You see, it's dumb.
Hey, real quick on the way out. Hey, they said Trump was stupid too.
Since the Western society became the imperial power.
Go ahead. On the way out. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that what you were saying about Kanye, that they called Kanye stupid. They said Trump is stupid, but neither one of them got to where they are by being that. That's one thing for sure.
And that's what I said. People stupid. You think they're gonna legitimize somebody who's working against what their little pattern? It's a dog eat dog world. That's what this is called. Dog Eat Dog World by Soul Jazz Orchestra.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's hit it with the roller skates. We're rolling.
Yeah, bro.
All right.